So this is an Aussie production podcast. Good morning, good day, and good evening to you. My name is Ozzy Hernandez, and I'm coming to you from the campus of California State University, Channel Islands.
So for this first assignment, I will be interviewing a colleague of mine who works at the WMC. And if you don't know already, I am currently a tutor in training. And my colleague Sarah has been so helpful throughout this whole journey. So I'm going to interview her about her experience as a tutor and what to expect. Okay, so Sarah, who are you and where are you from?
My name's Sarah, and I live in Camarillo.
Okay, cool, Sarah. So, she's a colleague of mine here at the WMC, and she's been really helpful. So, I want to ask, so how did you become a tutor?
Well, they had a tabling event out front, and I talked to Koa about it, and a few of the other people in the administration.
And Koa's another tutor.
Yes, Koa's another tutor. And they encouraged me to sign up because I wasn't going to because they do such a good job. And they said, oh, no, don't worry about it. We train you. And I was like, oh, well, if you're going to train me, then yeah, because I didn't think that I would be good enough. But once I found out about the training, then I was like, and so I applied.
Have you had any tutoring experiences beforehand?
Well, I used to work with supplemental instruction for when I was a student at Chaffey College in Rancho Cucamonga. And it's there's a lot of similarities. It's not exactly the same because you're more like a TA sort of kind of thing.
Oh, like an EMT here, kind of?
More so because you actually have you actually do a class yourself independently from the teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like when you have a TA and that TA has those extra hours. It's sort of like that. I just didn't have to grade papers, thank God.
Okay.
But it's kind of similar. You're helping students with their subject matter.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. Okay, so Sarah, so how was your first session like? Or how was that like? Did you have qualms about it beforehand?
I don't know if I really did. I didn't have that drop in, you know how you're supposed to like take over for a tutor when you're in the session. That I never got that. I just kind of like, here, tutor. and so I don't know, I guess I just really didn't have time to think about it, and so I just did what I had been taught to do in the class, and some of based on also a lot of stuff that I had learned obviously in my previous job. And so no, I didn't have time to think about it, let's just put it that way.
You just did it.
I just did it.
Okay. And what was your worst session, if you want to go into detail? If not, I understand, but I'm sure there's been some bad experiences too.
Yes. One day, I don't know what the freak was wrong with me, man. But I had this 2T, only I didn't know I was going to have this 2. I don't know what happened. It must have been an off day. That's what Crystal said when I told her. But, I was so terrible. I just forgot everything I was supposed to do with this person, and I don't know if it's because right before lunch, so my blood sugar was, I don't know what happened, but afterward I was like, what did I just do to that poor girl's paper? That was ridiculous. It was everything I wasn't supposed to do. For some reason, my brain was just like, hey, let's do these bad things.
So you edited everything about her paper?
Yeah, I just took it, and I don't know where my brain...
Which actually goes against wisdom.
Everything you're supposed to do, and I have no idea to this day
but
what
it happens,
was going on in my brain.
Because you're not the only one. Because as I am still in training still, I've come to realize that that will happen, that tutors will edit the 2T's paper. It just happens. Was this person a foreign student by chance?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the problem. It should just...
That's another facet too.
Yeah. Well, when it's someone who's writing English from a foreign language was their native.
So how has your experience been with tutoring students who don't speak English as their first language?
The main one I've ever had was with an asynchronous voice thread. And they had a very good command of the English language, but you could tell just from some of the phrases that they used that they were trying to just use phrases that they thought fit. So with those, I just went ahead, because it was a voice thread, and explained why we don't say things that way in American English, because it would have impacted their paper. And I really didn't want to, because their paper was really good, except for that they had all these little things that I was like, like they had the names reversed. Like they had the last name, first name.
Okay.
Or different things like that were just small, but they were enough that I wasn't sure how the professor was about. So some professors are okay. The professor I work for with Marketing 310 is pretty cool about some of the grammar stuff, because she is also not a native speaker. But some professors I know that they might not be as forgiving. So I just went through and just said, this isn't how we do it. This is how we say it in English, or try to find another way to say this, and that sort of thing.
And you thought that was helpful and necessary at the time?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, just because, like I said, her paper was good. There weren't a lot of technical problems with it. So she had a really good... It's just, those little slang sayings that you learn when you're learning American English, but they don't really belong in an academic paper. So it really wasn't like super correcting, because we would have said the same thing to an English student. Like, this is slang, doesn't really belong in an academic paper. I probably just gave her more information than I would have a native speaker, because I would have been like, look, I think you can figure it out. But I knew this person was using this because they didn't know any different, so...
Okay. That's a great anecdote, because this will pertain... Sorry, so this is pertinent to when I start tutoring, because I had my first session already.
Oh, yeah.
And it was with a student who didn't speak English as their first language. And that, too, was a bit challenging. I almost had a moment of fight or flight, almost, where, I froze. But then I realized, no, I think I can edit it, a bit more than usual. And I think that's necessary with these students.
I do, because it's not their fault. I mean, when I really think about it, a lot of people get all upset, I know, in the United States now about people who don't have perfect English. It's like, we don't even learn a foreign language, so I don't think we have any... This person, I'm like, oh, well, whatever language is her native language, she has a better command of English than I ever will of whatever that language is, so...
And we'll be right back.
Okay, Sarah, so just before we go, I have one last question for you. And since we are recording at the sound studio, at the sound booth here at the library, I want to ask, can any student really use the sound booth here?
Yes, the only thing that you have to do is make an appointment with the WMC to meet with a tutor and just let them know that you want to use the sound booth. We also have cameras, so you can, and we have a green screen, different things that we can use here for your audio and visual presentations. And then, and then of course we can work on all the other stuff too, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, and thank you, Sarah.
And that will do it for me today. And I'm going to tune in next time, where I may interview a lawyer or a teacher. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.